Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Yeah. Well, we are disappointed, but at least today I'm not angry. We are not angry. The boys tried. I think they did their best, but yeah. Sometimes, yeah. That's how life is. Welcome to everyone who has joined us. Today we've got a special guest. Abu, please um, mute your mic. Thank you. Yeah. Welcome. Today we've got a special guest, one who played in the situations that the boys have been playing today. And we thank you so much for joining us.
Abu, from
So
your phone, I think there's feedback somewhere.
when we are not speaking, may we just mute? Okay, thank you. So welcome, legend Maxwell Marhino Dube, and also welcome to our one of our founders of this platform, a legend as well, Calvin Mushi, another founder of this platform, Al, and then more of our guests, Gono, Oliver, we've got Abu. And welcome to everyone who's joining us from wherever you are. Please do share the link and so that we can join in. Your comments are welcome. We'll be seeing them, and we'll be asking you. So, without much ado, Marino, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, it's a hard
Sorry,
one
you were
to.
muted. Yeah,
Oh, is my mic on now?
yeah. Good now.
Yeah, when I started watching the match, I was a bit nervous because one of my boys was playing. You know, I wanted him to do well. So I was a bit nervous, but as the game went on, I was quite impressed with some of the players like Takwara. He played well. We've got Fabish. I think for me, he's man of the match today. And this lose is a hard one to take after giving it all, and we lose it in the last few minutes. So, yeah it was a good game, but I think there were a few mistakes we did. We let them play the ball over the top, and if we find the goals they scored, it was over the top, especially over. They were playing long balls over the top, Kunamurwira and Ajebe. In the first 10 minutes, they could have scored about 3-4 goals.
Mhm.
I don't know whether our technical team didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. Because it was attack after attack after attack.
Exactly.
Probably it was because of the shape they started with. So when you said one of your boys, you meant Navaya.
Yeah, Navai is from Marhino 7 Academy. So I was
Okay.
happy at the same time, yeah, that he's playing is from my academy, and it's one of my my goals to have one of my players playing in that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a
It's a
big
proud
moment
moment.
for me as well. Yeah, and he has
Yeah.
won the Soccer Star award as well. So it was that moment, you could see you'll be nervous. You want him to do well as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice. So when did
Congratulations.
Navaya play in your academy?
Yeah, I got to Ramdara.
So when did he play in your academy, Navaya?
When he was 15, he was playing for under 15 team. I can't remember which year. Yeah, but he was playing for the under 15 team. Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's a proud moment for you, and congrats.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I
you.
hope it's just
Yeah, he's got.
So
I was speaking to him even for the past. I spoke to him this morning. is giving back to the community. He called me, said, Mdara, I want to do an under 15 tournament end of January. So, which is good. Yeah. So something is in place, just giving back to the community.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good moment for you. So, Kevier, go ahead.
Yeah, just before we venture into the game, so I want to say this, because sometimes people are not appreciated, for what they do, and it's easy for me to not really say much, about this because Marhino is my friend. We always together, and so I'll tell you here, Mikey, that it's you underestimate, what the impact that you've made with your with your academy. I've seen all the passion. You put your own money into it. You're not a rich person. Yeah, you're someone and a thriver on the little that you have, and try to find other people, to make this work. And it's commendable because not many people can say Dagaita Academy and end up having a soccer star of the country coming from that. That's a massive, massive achievement. And I've seen it all, everything that you do. And well done, my friend. I had to say it, on a platform like this, because not many people, people sometimes choose not to do those things, for one reason or another. But the passion that you've had with this Marhino, juniors project thing has been immense. People don't know that you travel to Zimbabwe and spend a lot of money and do all sorts. The one of the events that you did, massive event, yeah, and this should lead, for people to understand that if we go back to where we were before, where we came from junior football right up to until we played in the Premier League. And without junior football, we don't go anywhere, and that's the reason why our game has suffered. And for you to bring up, and continue doing that, hopefully, it spares, some people or even Zifa and other people, who've got resources to try to make sure that we start all over again, and make sure that this is a primary thing for grassroots, in our football for again to, start going up as well, because there's a vast difference, and I keep saying it, with the European football, where certain things, that kids are taught in under nines, under 10s, 12. By the time they're 18, 15, it becomes second nature. We don't have that now in Zimbabwe because kids are just playing, with no structures or anything. And they get even to the Premier League, and you have players who are playing in the Premier League who don't understand certain basic things that a 15-year-old from Europe would understand. And those things, start with a project like yours, where the more that the kids are being coached, from a young age, by the time they get into the 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, they are, they kind of at a bit of a higher level than currently. So well done, mate.
Thank you.
OJ, mute.
You're on mute.
Mute.
Thank you. I was saying we'll need to talk more about the academy because, if an academy has brought up a national team player, and that's a really big thing, and kudos to you. So going into this game today, Moshi, could you give us probably your view on the tactical breakdown as the game started? How did the coach line up the team, and why do you think he lined up the team in that way, in terms of the formation and stuff?
I think it was a given. I've seen so many times, people talking about let's go at them, for us, a good way of defending is attacking and all that. Yeah, it's easier said than done when you're playing against quality players, like, players who play for Liverpool, Man City, and these top clubs, it doesn't work like that. You've got to weather the storm. You've got to defend for your lives. And sometimes the bit of luck as well, like we had. I know that some people were saying we could have been 4 or 5 goals, against them because of what was happening. But at the end of the day, chances are missed all the time in football. That's the game, you know. But like I mentioned, you know, earlier on, a team can have 30 chances and score one or even fail to score. That happens all the time. So we were kind of nervous, you know, in that we set as a three, you know, with the wing backs, but it wasn't really wing backs. It's almost like a three. But the moment that we lose the ball, it's five straight away. And the midfield, you know, we try to be as compact as we can, and we let them on the ball because we stayed in our defending third. So that meant the difficulty now was if we don't, when we win the ball, if we don't put the right ball into the right channel for our player to run in there, we kept on giving them the ball back. But we, just like any other team, you know, at any other point, you get a time when you are going to be on the ball, and we started, you know, sort of finding the right channels, you know, and putting the ball into the striker's advantage. And that's, at least, you know, from when we're stretching them, it helped us to come out of our defending third towards the halfway line. That then helped because the gap now between our strikers and our midfield and defenders becomes smaller, because the longer we go away, we're putting the balls into channel, but it's going straight to Egypt, and we're still on our D. You don't get much time to come out of there. You stay there, and that's what killed us in about the first, you know, a few minutes. But once we started doing the right thing, all of a sudden, you know, it was working. And I think hopefully, you know, some of the guys, you know, maybe not exactly here now, but who are in the group, who understand now what I was talking about when it comes to Fabish. Yeah, when I told you that this kid is just amazing, I said it, and I'm sure even some of you, maybe, unless if you understood what I was saying, you wouldn't understand what I was trying to tell you, that that kid has been coached football like nobody's business. Yeah, because what he did now was what we expect Marve, someone of Marve's caliber, to do is what was being done by young Jonah, which is be calm, yeah, get on the ball, don't rush it, delay 2-3 seconds, and find a pass and support it again. And all of a sudden, he encouraged our other players around him to start being composed as well. So when we got composed, we didn't look inferior like how Egypt has made us, you know, the first 10 minutes or so. And he was the catalyst, you know, for everything that we did, because he was the calmer. He was almost like the most experienced player in there, but yet he probably one of the youngest. And that's the difference, you know, you get. And I think the strikers as well were busy. They're very busy. The only thing that I didn't like, you know, about us was when they were running, sometimes they were using a lot of energy where they didn't need to, because if you're pressing, like we've said, it's either you're pressing together or you're not. You can't have two players pressing when our defense is set on the D or in our defending third. You're creating holes behind yourselves. And when we did that, it killed us. But when now this kid was getting onto the ball and he was killing that play, it helped our defense to move, you know, to the halfway line. What it meant now is when our strikers were pressing, there wasn't that big gap now, and it helped. So all of a sudden, we looked like a side, you know, which could play. And hats off, you know, to whoever, whether it's a coach, you know, who ended up, you know, changing things, you know, in that way. Yes, it was Egypt. Yes, you'd expect to be bombarded like we did, you know, even second half. But yeah, you've got to be a hater to criticize too much our side. Yes, there were mistakes that were made, and some of them were, you know, I like using the word, you know, sometimes players seem brain dead. There'll be good, talented players, but they just brain dead because basic things, you know, that need to be done, and they weren't done. I was more annoyed with the Salah's goal, because with the Salah's goal, you expect, you know, the Hadebe, when you're defending, you can't defend where you're in the box and you sideways to him. He was actually on the other side. You know, he let Salah go side, and you in the box. It should be the other way around. You know, he's got to be in a position where if it's played, he's back to goal. He's played with his right leg. You going straight in. or if they play it out wide, to his left, then you shepherd him out of the box. So for him to allow Salah, he was in this position to allow Salah to come in there. That shot, it should never happen. But we can criticize all we want, but I think generally we did okay, and hopefully we can pick up from that.
So Ray, are you angry? Are you angry, Ray?
Nah, not look, you get disappointed, every now and again. So anyway, first things first, Marhino, welcome, and great job on that academy. You see, you did not come from. We need more people to do what you're doing. You didn't come from nowhere. You went through a stage where you were groomed, to be where you are right now, and then you're also doing what was done to you. And kudos for that. You have a superstar of the year in your camp. That's a great thing. Getting back to the game, like we were saying, Egypt was coming at us. But to me, I think for two basic reasons. One, they're underestimating Zimbabwe because we don't have any big names, so they just said, well, let's go and steamroll over them. And in that aspect, we're kind of a bit panicky. So we just needed to calm the nerves. And what we needed was just to have one player just to calm the situation. And young Fabish came through. And the moment he calmed down, every other player calmed down. And then Msendami started doing what he does best. And from the coach's perspective, what I saw from the original from the starting lineup, it was defensively first, and then when we get the ball, when we break, we take them on. So the whole idea was take them on through the wings and then bring Washington Navaya into the play. So he was supposed to be break through Navaya and Jalai and then to bring the ball into the target man. It wasn't working out. It wasn't working out so well, but when we started stringing the ball around, we started matching them. We started matching them pound for pound. That's why they got a bit panicky. They started doing whatever they were doing. And then Nakamba, when the game started, he wasn't at that level yet. But young Fabish was there. But as the game progressed, Marvin started showing that experience we always talk about. You got to show experience somewhere. The interceptions, you can tell his interceptions like this guy has been there before. Okay? Msendami was on fire. Msendami, hey, the lad was on fire, yeah? Jalai is Jalai. He's gonna do what Jalai does. But the whole team, gentlemen, and I'm gonna be frank with you, I do not beat about the bush. I come straight to the point. I've been called a tribalist, remember, because I said Galloway is better than Hadebe. There is no defender. Marhino, there is no defender with his sword. He knows your power is on your right leg. Who will let you control the ball and get comfortable on your right foot, knowing what you can do with it. Okay? This guy, he kept on. There's a time he stopped. The ball came to Salah. He stopped. He looked at Salah. Salah got comfortable with the ball. And then Salah decided to do whatever he does. It happened twice, 3 times. The fourth time, the moment he got the ball, young Fabish was there and forced him to play it back. This is what a smart defender does. You close him down. The winning goal. He was on Salah's right. Why are you going on his right hand side? This guy is left-footed. He will always come to his left. We all know, we watch EPL. He will always come to his left foot. So you shift your body into a position where you're forcing him to play away from his left foot, force him to go the right way. That right foot is weak, or force him to play like Kev was saying, push him out. Like shepherd him out, push him. Whatever you do. But that was a silly goal. To me, I'll tell you this. That was a silly goal. If that ball had come to the side of Garnanga or someone, that ball was not going to go in because he was going to push him out. He was going to push him out. And now a lot of people are asking questions, why was Dunga left out? Only the coach knows. Only the coach knows. But honestly, the whole team lineup, Hadebe, I have problems with Hadebe. And I was worried about Takwara's pace. Takwara is not that fast. But I'll tell you something. That guy, that's a brave heart. That guy is a lion.
Yeah.
Today, he proved he's a lion. Every tackle he went in, anga asingafunge zvokuti hey chazoridzwa. He was just in there. Pane Zambian coach akambokocha Zisa wange aiti put stones sonny, he's not your brother, put stones, pinda matombo munhu azive kuti uripo. Those guys were afraid of Takwara. Even the commentator, even though he was biased, ended up saying this Takwara is just coming in there. One decision, go with it, because the moment you doubt this first decision, that person is gone. And Marmoush, they are quick, they are gone. The goal Marmoush, I don't know what Murira was doing up here. And we asked this question, why does Murira take my set pieces? I try to tell these guys, they don't practice my set pieces with training and they let that guy keep taking them. Honestly, he can't even loop a ball over the defense. But after all that has been said, look, to me, I'm good. I think the boys, they did the best they could, because this is Egypt we're talking about, right? Rated highly, rated wherever, with superstars, big names and all that. But for those boys to come in and do what they did, and then there's what's his name, young Chirewa. He came in. Kev was not happy about his decisions, but I understand what he was trying to do. He's a kid. He's young. He's overzealous. He's got this thing. I want to do something. There was a ball where he could have played the pass, come back into space, and let it be played off him. He could have done that. And then I need to mention this Prince Gaddafi Dube. I tell you, boy was brilliant. I didn't know he plays midfield. Boy was brilliant. I didn't know. I know he makes a striker.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
And that control and 10, the goal was okay. It's the control and the 10. That control, these are the things you want to see. These are the things you want to see. But, and I think in the next game, if we make our target men, playing, to back to goal, that hold off play, and then get boys running into there, we will get something. But for starters, kudos to the coach. He made a decision, picked a player that he wanted. I know a lot of people are going off on Facebook. Why did you put this one? Why did you put this one? Because your favorites did not play. So now you want to say, hey, we would have done that. No. The coach made a decision according to him. He's the coach. He's the guy at the end of the day who takes the blame whether the team wins or loses. He went with that, and to me, it worked out. The team was okay. At times, we lacked composure when they're coming at us. We just lacked that person who just control the ball. Calm down. Look around, control the ball, calm down, pass it and tell the boys, calm down, pass the ball, let's go. Because once we started to when they're calming and playing the ball, we were doing so brilliantly. They knew. You see, their coach even pulled out that number, what was his name? Atimi or something. Because Musendame put that guy in his pocket, and that coach knew that guy was getting a red card. Choppers because but you see, we need boys to be fearless like Takwara. You need to be fearless like Takwara. I'm telling you, Takwara to me, 5 stars. Takwara, every tackle he went in, he won it. Every interception he did. And then Mave came in to the game later. Started, like the interceptions. He had up like goes the intercepts, even though he was getting tired or his pass was getting, straight. The interception, you could tell, because that's the experience now coming to play. But I think we found the replacement who we should go for from now on, go forward with him. That defensive midfield role belongs to Joanna Fabish. Let's agree to disagree. That role belongs to that young fella. From now on, going forward, it belongs to that young fella.
Thank you, Ray. I'm just going to go back to Marhino. I need someone to take us through that goal in the eye of a striker who has actually played. Marhino, we've seen some commentators, I think, on South African TV saying that goal could have been fortuitous or lucky or something. Take us through that turn and shoot. How do you decide to do that? And how did you see that goal by Gaddafi?
Starting from July.
I think it was a brilliant goal because, when you're a striker, especially most of the time you'll be facing behind you'll be giving your back at the back of the goal. So that turn and shoot, you have to think in a split of a second. So I think I'll rate that one 9 out of 10. It's a good goal. It was a well-taken goal. I think the whole team played very well. We started a bit sloppy. We were giving the ball away. Like you said, Kuti, every time we got the ball, we were hitting long balls. Then the distance between the midfield and the center forwards was too big.
Yeah.
So we didn't have time. Kuti no supported the two front runners, Dube and Navaya. But when we started playing after 20 minutes, I think we were back in the game. But still, I wasn't impressed by Nakamba, yeah.
I think I have made fitness as a former footballer.
That's
If you haven't been playing,
Kuti, Nakamba at the moment, I think, because he hasn't been playing for some time. So he was making some wrong decisions where he's supposed to play short. He was hitting them long. Then that distance between the strikers and the midfield, Mangwasinga movie forward. So we were giving the ball a lot of times. We were giving the ball away a lot of times. But overall, I was impressed by Fabish, what he was doing off the ball. He reminds me of Max Ruza.
Yeah.
Max Ruza, yeah. If you know Max Ruza, played for
the short
Shabani.
one. Yeah.
Max Ruza would run for 150 minutes non-stop. That's Fabish for you. And I was very impressed. I had not seen him playing before, but I was very impressed. Then I was impressed by, is it Msendami? Yeah, he was very good as well. He was taking on defenders, holding on to the ball. Then Jalai played well. Chakwara he gave it all. Every time he was throwing himself, trying to defend the ball, and it was working. They could have scored from outside the box, but he was there defending all the time. Then when we made substitutions, I think when they took off Sendami, I think Maswanise was the right one to go in there because he's got pace as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he waited because he took him on maybe because there are 6 minutes. And kana kwasara 6 minutes, some players so yeah. So anyway, overall we played very well. I was happy with the performance, and it's a hard one to lose, especially with a few minutes to. I think Adebe should have done better. He was on the wrong side of the ball, and when you're playing Salah, he's got that killer instinct when he gets into the box. So he was on the wrong side of the ball. He should have done better. Yeah.
So is it a matter of that Adebe was playing in an unnatural position? Because we know he's a centre back. Are there slight movements that you need to do as a centre back that you wouldn't do as a left back or what?
Yeah, I think he's unfamiliar with that position. I don't know why they made that position. Whether is it Lunga is injured or what? Because if you see, every time they were playing the ball over the defense, and he would be inside, and they nearly scored from those balls. Both sides, kuna
Muruwira
and Adebe, they were stands yavo vanga vachimira vakafesa salary behind them, and they won't see kune munhu. So we were very lucky in the first 10-15 minutes. Ukatarisa even the first goal, so it was behind Muruwira as well.
Yeah.
And I think the other is this the Rasta guy, can't remember his name. He could have gone quick to block him. I think it was a bit slow. Yeah.
Yeah. He was
I think that's my take on the game.
All right. Thank you, Marai. Oh, I'm gonna come to you. You are the one who's the former goalkeeper here. Can you take us through the performance of Arubi? I think he saved us many times during the game. What's your take on Arubi and the whole defense?
Yeah. First of all, let me say welcome to Marhino. It's good to have you here. You're respecting our podcast to have a soccer star of the year former Soccer Star of the Year on this podcast. It means a lot. And I like a lot what you said about your academy. And before I continue to talk about Ruby, I have one question that I would like to ask. What was the inspiration in starting Marhino 7 Academy?
Well, I started the academy 2000 when I came back from South Africa. So my passion was giving back to the community where we have talented players, young players who are less privileged.
You said you started in 2000.
Yes.
Wow. How old were
I've
you?
produced 2000, I was 20 what? 24.
You were still playing back then.
I was coming back from South Africa. I was playing for FC Fortune. So I came back to Zing, then I formed the academy. So we had less privileged kids from Tapa around Gweru who had talent. So they just wanted guidance. So I decided to take the opportunity to give them that opportunity so that we can produce another Marhino from Gweru. And after 24 years, there's Navaya for you. And they have produced a lot of players who played in the Premiership. There's Jacob Mzokomba, if you know him, Milton Makopa, Kwadishe Musharu, and
Wow.
Smart Mshabai were all from my academy. They played in the Premiership.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was my inspiration. They could need to give back to where I grew up from.
Okay, that's great. That's great, really. You see, all the players that you have mentioned, you see that number. If we have more of those academies, I think our grassroots is not where it's supposed to be. I'm not sure it's exactly the same thing, but I saw legend Esrom Nyandoro is doing something like of that ilk in South Africa, and we need more of those things to happen. Then coming back to how our defense played and goal, Arubi was really good. The way you played, you stayed alert all the time. Some of his reflex actions were immense. Like I think there was a corner that was taken, and then the header was headed like back, like just before halftime. Don't know if you know it. I think it was the last play of halftime, and then the way he reacted. Those are just reflex actions. Yeah, those are just reflex actions. A good goalkeeper doesn't need to be taught. It's in him. That's the talent. That was the talent at work. And then the overhead that he punched from Marmoush, the long distance ball. It shows that the goalkeeper is always alert. Not only that, then there was another through ball that was put to Marmoush, and he was one-on-one with the keeper. And he was like, he played as a sweeper, which you have to sometimes as a goalkeeper. You can't always stand on your line. Sometimes you have to come on the edge of the box for moments like those, so that if your defense is beaten, they're maintaining a high line and the boys played behind them, then you are quick to clear, which he did. He was really alert. And then I thought all the defenders played well except for the two that have already been mentioned, Hadas Sadebe and Murwira. So Murwira, for the second goal, he was just not at it. I think the ball was thrown, I'm not sure it was a throw in, over his head. And his pace in getting back was not that great. Then he got close to Marmoush. Yeah, that was the first goal. He got close to Marmoush, but when he got there, he didn't do anything. Both of them, Murwira and Munashe, they stood off Marmoush. One of them could have just put in a block. So, and that gave him a chance. And the finish that he did, that's the finish you expect. I think I watched another interview where they interviewed Sergio Aguero. And then they were asking him, how do you finish when you are close to go and the angle is narrow? He just said, we were taught from when we were young, you hit it hard and you re-hit it up. Then that takes it away from the goalkeeper. So I've seen a lot of people would blame the goalkeeper in that situation, but there's nothing Arubi could have done with that shot. It was well taken and it was hit ferociously. So other than Hadebe and Murwira, of course, it has already been mentioned, he could have stayed goal side. Ndokunokwataiti kuberekwa kubhora tichitamba kunzi usaberekwe anga akaberekwa naMo Salah. You see, you have to stay on the goal side kune bhora defender. But anyway, up until that moment, he had good moments with Salah, where he was tackling him well, keeping him at bay. But overall, he had flaws in his game. But Vangwevese, they played well. Munashe had a decent game, and Takwara was immense, which was good. And then them too. Jalai was playing a bit further forward.
No, thank you. Ray, just before I come back to you, I need to ask Gono, because he's been taking a lot of heat on social media after his comments regarding hold-up play and physical strikers and how you play when you are defending in a low block. What was your take, Gono, on the structure of the front three and how they were playing?
Thank you very much. I think I'm going to have more comments again, but thank you very much, Marhino, for coming to this podcast, and please continue coming, because this at least we discuss things and bring controversy. But I'm going to be very unpopular today, because this is a game that we're supposed to win by all costs, especially when you look at the way how we played from the first 45 minutes. We managed to contain the Egyptians without having any challenges. Probably they had the strength, but you could actually see that our weakest link was the wings, where the wings actually, Murwira and Hadebe. These were the two weakest links, especially the first half. Of course, Nakamba was actually Nakamba, how slow he was, could not actually be observed, simply because Fabish was still in. But he could not maintain the momentum. Yangai Ripo. But Msendami kept them on their backs all the time, to the extent that they were even the defenders. If you look at Hansen Harry and the other guys who substitute one, they could not actually come and attack, simply because they knew Guti, if this guy can go on a border, something is going to happen. So when you look at it now, honestly speaking, Galloway is needed one way or the other, and Lunga is needed. And when Jalai was actually playing up front, you could actually see that we created a lot of chances. I think the coach, when he started, the reason why he put Jalai there was to cover for Murwira. But Murwira, because he doesn't have pace and the other things, he then forgot that he was supposed to be playing soccer instead of cheerleading like what he normally does. Because you find it as a poor yellow card that he was not supposed to get, you see. So I think you are tired of cheerleading, and to that extent, how can you say you have the weakest link and then you get a card? Imagine. Then msadaro kandirozowanzirwa pafacebook. So I think he needed to take his energy up front, because you find that Jalai did most of the defending on that wing than Murwera did, even in terms of committing. So Kuramba Chingo push up and down, I think it was actually worse. Then for those people who are saying that the goal by Prince Dube was just a fluke, I think Mo Salah's goal does not even deserve to be said it was a very good goal. When you're saying Guti Dube's goal was not that, because Dube had to hold a moon and then he waited and then he picked the spot at Barisa straight with our Hadebe, who was actually, I don't know where Hadebe, he plays where is Malcolm? I think, honestly speaking, Mo Salah, we know that he only has one leg, which is the left. And you even question how Hadebe got into the team, but I was actually surprised the coach how he has actually played. But I think going forward now, we would now want to see when Andy comes in, when Galloway comes in, when Lunga is in, could the structure of the team, is it going to be the same? And if you look at one, Navaya was up front, was supposed to be the striker, then followed by Msendami, Dube, Fabish, and Jalai. Like a straight line. Then you have Nakamba, then you have another flat four. So like what Marhino said, KV, sorry, what KV said, our structure was more of defending to the extent that we didn't even have more depth. I actually liked what Bonnie did. When he realized that he couldn't actually pass Arrow and Pasha strike, if Dube was there, we would have actually said something. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ray, you've been waiting to come in.
Anyway, I want to talk about, you guys are saying, Hadebe is a center back. That's a position, he could have played somewhere else. Let's take a pause. Let's stop and pause there. This guy has played in Turkey, right? And this guy plays in America, okay? You can't say I'm a center back, saka ndikatamba ku left ndondinetsa, or I'm a right back and ndikatamba pa center back ndondinetsa. I want to explain the modern football. As a modern football, as a player, you should be able to adapt to what's going on around you. You can't say ndotamba apa chete. I'll give an example. Young Nick O'Reilly, another O'Reilly, the youngster O'Reilly, where Man City. That kid is supposed to be a midfielder, a striker or something. I don't know, but he's playing Kumashuro. Aditya, he's not. He didn't say I'm not there. Prince Dube is a striker. We all know Prince is a striker. And I'm also shocked. We know Prince is a striker, but today Prince was playing midfield. Did it appear like he's a striker? He was doing things that midfielder does. Drop back, get the ball, initiate play. And he was initiating play going forward. And if you realized the weakness, the weak links, Hadebe and Murira, the weak links forced Hadebe forced Jonah to play more left side. And Murira forced Nakamba to go on the right-hand side. And that left a gap in the middle. It was because of these two guys, the weak links. They forced this one to go that way and forced that one to go there. And then it also forced Msendami to come back. So we lost our threat going forward because Msendami was forced to come back on, run up and down. When the game plan was from the back to Nakamba to these five guys in the middle to the attack, but we're forced to come back because of these weaklings, and those guys exploited that. It's fortunate that there is goals, but they exploited that. Which brings me to my point of saying, if we had a solid right back, okay? If you have a solid right back, and then you have enterprising wingers like Msendami and Jalai were doing, you force that at the team to be on alert, so they become more defensive because they're always thinking, we can't do that. Like Gono rightfully said, every time Msendami made the ball, they were not coming, they were staying defensively because they knew what the threats he was bringing. But then when they realized it forced Msendami to relinquish that threat and come drop a little bit to help out Jonah. Because first way you work states you. Menos arengo achita no makomi koko, but and then choir master, I don't know, choir master, you've got Nakamba there, you are there. If Jalai goes forward, he's got these guys going with him. You all going to cool. Because that Borano over, Garanando parties will not. He reacted on instant paper. I will not Parapana Moon, so let me cut there. Where was it? You see, you did, like I'm saying, modern football, and if you're playing guys that play modern football, not even modern football, as a player, as a player scan before when the ball is in the park, who's next to me? Dikaruana, what's my next move? You should always be scanning. I'm here, my next move is there. He's just jogging there. Meaning don't commit, but just show people, make him change his idea. And the modern football, if a player comes, you put in, you go into him and not kuno pressure. You go there on a mirror so that he changes his thought process. Kananga da kurova Kodora short, achabva atochinja balls. Either you're going to force him to try and dribble you, or you're going to force him to you shepherd him to play backwards. And did had the Bejan Simon Suarez. The simple things like what's his name? When Bradley did to Vinicius, he knew with Vinicius akana bora Adam Bodai. Aingoya padhuze naye so. Ongomira akadai so. Akadai intercepts. Either we're going throw in. Akadai oritora. There's a bora win on a Prince akapa Jonah. And then pa pressing pipe on washi navaya kachimanyano pressure. Romans 1-2 bachoka so areka. You see, that is a coaching problem. That is a coaching problem. This way, as a coach, you call him, you tell him, if you're going to press, tell the other guys to come. And also tell the other guys, if Kanaline Bora Tamba Mashure, why are you waiting for them to come to us? If they are playing from the back, let's go there. Because once you squeeze the ball, you suffocate 10-second rule, suffocate the ball, suffocate it. Suffocate bora I look. Yoka yapa. Once they when I need on the run, the changes after that if you remember Salah, Mane, na Firmino, even though Salah never has to do anything much. But like Miravari 3, the moment Mane akatanga kuenda uku, akaichoka auna pese pa varwa. There's so many teams used to make mistakes. You press the ball, Messi, not one guy. So what you make him do is he wastes a lot of energy going up and down, up and down, way down. We don't do that. That's a coaching problem. But they need to fix wing back, acquire master. I'm telling you, let's not talk about Takwara. No, he was doing what he's meant to do. That guy, of all the interventions that Mabuba could have gone, he was there. That commentator was biased, right? And I told him, but you know, this Takwara guy is the right time. He was sacrificing himself. This is what we're saying. You're playing for the bench. Not good. You don't know who are playing with. Kuna anogeza unozati nomirira anokugeza ine paunozosvika ipapo bhozi wakagezwa inda kutozogezwa po ndakuvhunduka bhozi wagezwa then ndakungouya unokwanisa mumwe munhu but first anonzi adeb. I'm going to say this for last time before I drop the mic. Inini hangu if I was a coach can if I just say ndaimti tichigogara panze. Those are Bruno.
He was too late already because he was in the wrong position.
You know, Salah is left-footed. We have strong foot like Kevin said. Country strong foot. Shepherd him out there. Force him to end up byline. Left foot karamba. It's like that just stick his oramba chu. Anatakwara chima die hard vote vavaoyachi. Wash kanda mbelwe ball. But you let him come there. A smart defender would have blocked his strong side. Force him to his weak side. If you're right-footed, and if a defender comes, I know Varaku right, so you go to your left. I know Varaku right, so you go to your left, because your left is weaker. So he force you to do things you want to do. But this is Zamsia. That's a poor Jesse. Remember that's that Jesse. That's a poor Jesse.
That was a get, Baba. That was a
we were America. I know gonna do that, which is actually like the teenage.
That's where.
So Malcolm,
yeah,
I've got a few questions to ask you.
sure, yeah.
Now I want you to touch on. You refused, but that WhatsApp group, you said something about Fabi. So I'm gonna let you go about that. I'm gonna ask you what you think. Do you think that match fitness had an effect on our second half performance that led us to conceding the 2 goals?
That's a good question. I don't think so. You know, I think match fit, if anything, I would say in the first half, because we were a bit sloppy, you know, they're like, I remember like in the first like 5 minutes, there's a time where Marvelous Nakamba, you know, almost costed us. If you remember that, I think it was in the 5th minute or something. And that is when I can put in match fitness, you know, as a cause of that. But if I look at his second half, he did a great job. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I hope I answered your question on that.
Okay. I'm gonna just go back to Marhino, because he was known as a free kick specialist. He used to hit thunderbolts, my free kick. We've seen Murwira in the past few games getting all the corner kicks, all the free kicks for Zimbabwe. But from what I've observed, success rate yake cross some free kicks hasn't been good. Is there something that you do in the dressing room, or is there a role in consider captain ari field of play kuti munhu akaita mafree kick 2-3 akatedzana haasi kubuda mushe, then ari kukontinue achingotora mafree kick? What happens in the dressing room there, or what do you think is the cause of that?
I think it goes back to the coach. The coach sometimes selects kuti, how are we going to take our dead balls? Then who's responsible? Then you as a player as well should honor your kuti guys zviri kuramba nhasi. After taking 2-3 unozoona kuti nhasi zvaramba. So you should give someone, I think, in the second in line in the Kigo then takes over. So I was surprised taking those balls. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So
in terms of yourself, yeah. Go ahead, Kevin.
I will answer you in that as well. You know, like Mike said, and this is one of the differences between us when we were playing and with these kids. You know, sometimes very too robotic. Yeah, very too robotic. It's just like when I win, I'm ground me, I'm at it as a sorrow in. Wonder, but iwo makukuda iso. In the way that you go never do it around you have to chamba now, they can't hear what we're saying. I did it. They don't understand the language. After no cross a border, go. People will say, Hava now, you know, it's really, I think we can eat a good training or whatever. But we can manufacture it there and there. And sometimes you've got to get to a point as well. Not only mono, but panofana vita mono. Someone like Mave, someone like these senior guys, the one who's supposed to be taking them, he knows that it's not happening for him that day. He's not going to argue with you because he knows that it's not happening. For me, the biggest problem I have with Zimbabwe is that this is not the first time I've seen issues with like this with Morwira. And for the life of me, I would really want to be on that ground or training to understand how Morwira gets anywhere near a free kick. Because I remember we were talking about 2 corner kicks that he took in one of the games, you know, in one of the friendlies. And I'm thinking, you don't seem like you actually have the technique to, you know, to hit the ball. So if it's someone are confident, you know, my players are confident, you come in there and say, I'm my free kick, my corner kick. But no one is doing, because everyone is saying if Murwira takes them, Murwira takes them. But Murwira are moto, you see, and that's so it's all about communication. It's all about players, you know, having the balls to say no. It's just like when you see sometimes on penalties, yeah, you see even in European football, you know, that where you've got a number 1 designated penalty taker, yeah, but you see someone who is maybe number 2 or number 3, he gets the ball and say, Milan Botora Chamad, Milan Botora no Mutsaga go. And it maybe it takes the coach to say, no, give it to that the number 1. Or sometimes the number 1 will say, you know what, I'm not game in confidence. Take it. Yeah. The coach hasn't dealt with that. The players have dealt with it by themselves. And so this is what's happening. Leadership is lacking in that side, because you've got to remember that those set pieces could be the difference between us winning a game and losing a game. Yeah, but no one is taking ownership of that, because Murwira, it takes a bad one. No one comes to say, no one says anything. Murwira takes another one, then another one, then another one. So this is why we're talking about this now, because, you know, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. This is international football. It should not happen. And I look at Jalai, just the way that he hits the ball, and I've said this before, you would think that Jalai will be demanding those things and say, you know what, let me take it because it's got the technique, but it doesn't. How they got to Murvira to be taking that, I don't know. Very interesting as well. Yeah. And
Marhino
can I quick, Mark, I want to answer you because it's a point that I wanted to bring about, before the basic elements of defending, which failed not only with the Adebe goal or the first goal, but it's where I have issues with players who have been playing for a long time. Adebe was playing against Messi not long ago, yeah, but he doesn't even understand, the basics, of defending. Someone said, in fact, OJ said, "Oh, is might it not be the fact that he's not a left back that he was wrongly positioned?" Guess what? It even makes it worse. The fact that he plays as a centre half. To even make that mistake when he's a centre half is worse because a centre half will make sure that you put the player away where if the ball is coming from their left side, you want to get to the ball first before him. So you are almost like halfway into their body so that you defend the ball that way, going that way. But if the ball is played out wide, then you shepherd them going, but to the away from goal. So to allow someone like Salah, who is left-footed, to allow him a chance where he's like a quarter of a yard ahead of you, where he's got the goal, he can actually see the goal there, and you are this side, makes it worse because as a centre half, that's your job. You should know better. One thing that Maki, Marhino, saying Marhino, I call him Maki, yeah. So one thing that Maki mentioned about knowing where to position yourself. Any player, especially fullbacks, the one thing that you are taught from even an early age is when the ball is coming, you've got to say, I'm playing right back, and it's a left winger. When the ball is being flighted, there's things that I should see at any given time at that point, where the ball is coming from and where my man is. So it's like a triangle. Yeah, it's like a triangle. You have to see both at the same time. If you're not seeing both, you're badly positioned. Badly positioned. And that happened with Adebe countless of times. That happened with Murwira countless of times. And it's unacceptable at that level to be happening. My worry going forward, though, is that because overall we did okay, I just worry whether the coach is going to think because
You
we
stay.
did okay, so he keeps them, and say let's start the way that we started, in which I think won't be a good thing. But like I've always said as well, as much as I can disagree with the coach, I also respect coaches because I know it's a tough job. We were talking about this before the game, and I said whatever the team that is put there, instead of us having criticizing, let's have faith because sometimes there's a plot in all that madness. Because at the end of the day, I was looking at that and I understood that what he did, I could do the same, and it could be very unpopular with fans because you know what, you want the Maswani says, you want the Chirewas, to be doing all these things, but there are times when it's not about the quality of players. That's what the statement I made was the best players aren't always the best players to start because you playing against Egypt, man for man, you can't match Egypt. We can't. We've got to be honest with ourselves. So we've got to find players who can actually balance our side solid wise from a defensive point of view. And that's what he did. That's what he did. And it's nearly worked. It nearly worked. So yes, and he then ended up bringing in. I feel that he should have brought in Maswanis a bit earlier. He should have brought him in a bit earlier because what you're going to get with that kid is you put him on the left side, and he plays on a half turn, and he just swinging that ball into that channel. The Egypt for all their quality and all whatever, people tend to forget this. Defenders all over the world, defenders hate players who run at them. Yeah. And and one of the most things as well that I hope that this young man, Malcolm, has learned today is that there's a reason why certain players play and other players do not play. You see, no defender, no defender wants to play against players like Bonnie, ever. They do not like it because did you see when Bonnie came on? How many times, did those defenders first half, any ball that comes in, more likely they're going to head it. What happened when Bonnie was there? Bonnie was heading them. Now,
You're
because
occupied.
we weren't using our heads, every second ball was ending up going to Egypt, but it was Bonnie who was winning it. Yeah. And everything that he did in that half showed you the class that you have with players who are good back to goal, our strikers. You don't always find them. And that's the reason why I told you if Bonnie was a midfielder, we would never get a midfielder from the so-called Division 8. But as a striker, strikers can come from anywhere and they'll do a job. And he did a job. We needed to be switched on. If you have someone like Maswani say playing off Bonnie, he will do the Motherwell business that he does. Because Maswani is clever. If you watch Motherwell, Maswani is always waiting to pounce. He's waiting to pounce. So when you have someone like Bonnie who is going to be a battering ram, yeah, and everything that was going in there, you could see Egypt players. When as a defender, you're not scared of the striker who's coming in front of you. You see the ball, you make that stance, and you're going to attack the ball without fear. When you see someone who is badging you and putting elbows and heading and all that, when you're going in there, you're no longer comfortable, like, by just going easy like that. So that compromises you. And so I think for me, one of the things that that I might have a bit of an issue with the coach is that he got too excited with where we were with the result and forgot that from where we were, we could still win it. Yes, we know it's Egypt, but we could still win it. And we've got quality players. These lads, the Prince Dubes and all that have done their job, but it was time to bring in someone like Maswanise because he's a proven goal scorer, that kid, and he scores, at a very, very good level. And sometimes you have to trust that. Yeah, I understand that he was on the bench, and I understand his reasoning for putting him on the bench. The one who I always say I'm very consistent because I praise him, then I bollock him, and I praise him, and I bollock him. And today, Chirewa was doing my head in. Why I say that is because Chirewa sometimes, and I understand he's a kid, but sometimes he forgets that in all this, you can still be glorified in setting up someone. And there's a ball that we know that is against Egypt. We're not going to get that many chances. Bonnie had 2 shots or 2 or 3, at goal where he showed, that he can use his body and just snapshot, that's strikers goals. That is, the way that he took his snapshots. And but we're not getting that many chances. Chirewa should have set up Bonnie for that ball, which he ended up, hitting over the bar. Yes, we can say unlucky because you tried to score. But that's the same thing I mentioned about Moses Chunga in the Nottingham Forest thing, where the coach says, if I say pass, I mean just that pass. Because the player who is in a better position to score, if you didn't pass him and you scored, we're going to celebrate. But if you don't, we're going to bollock you. So it's not just about that ball, but he lost possession where we could have attacked, the opposition. But I'll tell you why. I'm not just saying that he lost possession because everyone can lose possession. You see the arrogance in the pass. When you remember there's a one pass to the right that he made instead of just passing the ball to the right winger's feet, he passed it, like it was so careless and arrogant that they passed it and it ended up going to the left back. I'm thinking, but those are chances those few chances that we're having and going at them on a 1v1. But all of a sudden, you've just lost the ball. his mentality, I like his mentality that he has this I don't care attitude, but you've got to get to a point where you understand that it's a team game. It's not about you. And sometimes it feels like it's about him. And I don't like that. But as a player, very good player, very good quality, and he is going to cause problems, for teams. But sometimes the attitude has to change because these are the games where, those small margins could be the difference between us winning and losing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we lost.
Yeah, they do
Two
matter.
mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Studio, Mr. Abud the Rockstar, I need to ask you a question. Do you think we lost momentum because of the substitutions, and did the coach have any choice but to make the substitution with the way the game was going?
Maserasi. Oh, kwenye maska. Okay, I'm soon.
Can you hear him? Can you hear the rockstar?
But in the visa music.
All right. I think, is there anyone who wants to take that on? Did the coach have any choice but to make those substitutions? Because we kind of lost a bit of momentum by Thomas subs like Msendami.
Now, he substituted players who were tired. You could tell, you could see, that they started being lethargic because they were tired. So it's not that the substitution. Sometimes people talk about substitution as if someone has not been playing well. You could be playing well, but what you have. Let me give you a clear example or a simple example. If Marhino is playing, and after 65 minutes, certain run that Marhino could do on 25th minute, he might not be able to do it on 65 because he's blowing a little bit. Yeah, he's still okay. You can see that he's running, but maybe he's not. That is split extra is sort of effort that is needed. He might not do it, and we might not see it because we're thinking he's done all right, but maybe he stopped just before he should have kept on going. So now, if you then bringing me and I'm coming from the bench, yeah, for starters, I have energy. I haven't been running. I've only just done warm up, yeah. So I'm eager to show you as well what I can do. Where Marhino stopped, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to run. It doesn't mean that Marhino played badly, but for the 65 minutes, he's done what's needed to be done, and that's it. That substitution, there was no issues with it. Like I said, I actually think the substitution was a bit delayed. It should have been done, slightly earlier, because it's easy to say, we lost momentum and all, but that's not true because we were already under the cosh at that time, so we needed legs to help us, to try to come out of our half. We didn't lose anything from making the substitution.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Kevi, they substituted the wrong people. A tired Musendami is far much better than a fresh Murguira or Adebe. I think honestly, Musendami Aganeta was going to be better in terms of managing pressure than what
So how would you make that one? You would move Jalai back to right back, then put someone else.
Yeah, you then move. Because Jalai was going way to the back to collect the ball. Even if you look at the way how he was, in fact, the first goal, actually, if you look at it, Jalai was trying to come back, but Murgiraj Tungo Perekeza customer chain until the ball was whipped. And if you look again, Musendami was coming back. Bringing in Lunga was going to help at least to push up the pressure. But now, because we didn't do that, Choir Master was still there and also drained. It's difficult to manage, to defend all the time when we don't have anyone who can actually absorb pressure, weakest link. Because if you look at how Egypt was actually doing, look at all they never, because they knew Varwa, but they're always coming from the wings. Then it goes to Salah. Then take it back to Trezeguet, because they knew very well my wings and my weakest links. If I'm going to be the coach for now, I was going to take out Hadebe, put in Lunga, take out Murguira, bring back Jalai, then strengthens the need. Captain Ombotimire and Bichana, then we bring in and Fusire. and Fabish. That Sivapana Yoyo, how does it move like that?
Oh, and
I think
he's not there. Guys.
I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
the problem with what you're saying is I think you're talking from an emotional point of view. I'm not attacking what you're saying. I'm just saying that I think you're talking from an emotional point of view because when we really go into the finer details of coaching and what the coach is seeing there, you know, yes, Murira, didn't cover himself in glory with that goal, and Hadebe didn't cover himself with glory in that situation as well. But it's not as easy, like you saying, to just change, fullbacks, and because you're trying to,
Those them.
because what you have to understand is that defenders play as a unit. Yeah. So maybe that first 10, 15 minutes they were struggling and all, but they try to keep the line, and that communication and understanding. Yeah. It's much more important than any other part, of the pitch. So I'll give you a good example. We've got a coach here, my team, Manchester United. We've got a coach who substitutes defenders every game going, and every game Manchester
You always
United
concede late goals.
is changed defenders. We concede a goal every game because defense, even sometimes when it looks a bit shaky, it's not one area where you just change things like that. Because I would say one thing as well, where I would say you're a bit biased. Yeah. Sorry to say that. You are looking at the fullbacks who didn't play well. Who in certain situations they didn't play well. But you never talked about the player or the players who we think played brilliantly, but they didn't help us in the goals. Because if you look at the first goal, Garananda could have done better. He could have done better. And I want you to check that goal again. He could have done better, but it's easy for us to ignore that because all we saw is the ball being played over Murwira. So we have an issue with Murwira. But it's a team game, yeah. So if Murwira is beat, we expect the sweeper to slide down, to that side. But he was late in coming in there to cover because he's the one who is seeing that flight going over Murwira. Yeah, by the time that's the goal, the ball was hit by Marmoush here. It was too late to get there. So we can attribute that as well as a defensive mistake, not just from Murwira, but from Karanande as well. And you look at the Salah's goal as well. Yes, we talked about what's his name? We talked about Hadebe, but sometimes we have to help each other. And yes, I understand that they didn't do as well as we wanted them to. But can we really say they warranted being substituted, both of them, in a game like that, especially when you've stopped Egypt from scoring? No matter what mistakes you've done, you've stopped them from scoring that many goals that we expected. Yeah, so it's one of those things. So sometimes, many a times, it's easier to change because you're looking for goals. Yeah, you're looking for goals. We're not looking at hoping that we it remains a draw because a win was there. A win was there for the taking. There's not many times that you find yourselves in that position where you can actually win a game against Egypt. So to put Maswani, say, to put Chirewa, that actually shows how far we've come as well. We actually put in players to try to win a game against Egypt. Think about it. Would most of us be saying those things before the game? I can guarantee you there's a lot of people who expected us to be losing 5-6 goals today.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevi. I'm gonna go back to Marhino. This one is for you. It's a hot one. It's a big one. So one of the talking points, because when the last 28-man squad was announced, one of the major talking points was Sona. He was being played in midfield in the qualifiers, or in the few qualifiers that he played, and we thought maybe we would see him somehow during this game. Do do you think his experience could have been used in the second half in terms of someone who get on the ball and distribute it around, or maybe try to keep the ball because we were just pumping it forward? Was this experience missed in the second half?
Hey, that's a difficult one. You never know whether Kutia pins or not, it was going to work for us or not. It depends on
Yeah.
the day, whether the player is going to perform or not. So it's a bit difficult to say they should have taken Sona in and get someone in out. But
How would
then
you feel though? You've been at that age, maybe at the club level or at that level, and you're at that age. How would you feel if you're kept on the bench for the 90 minutes?
I think every player he wants to play. Like Wanamaswani, you'll be mad, Kuti, why did you play me 5 minutes? So when you go into a big tournament like that, everyone wants to play. Kanasnap Tamba, or let's hope they'll make more changes in the next game.
Yeah.
As a team, we want to win. But sometimes it's a hard one. Ask KV. Number one, when you go kuno Tamba ma Africa Cup of Nations, Kanat World Cup, KV is a coach Zim team. I always laugh at him because he's got a group of players. You find sometimes, I know I would always say team. Shades up Zakombonoga. I remember I took him a picture. Akagara pasi kwenye msoro.
Honest face.
Yeah. So it's not an easy job, but yeah, I hope Msona next experience anayo. Maybe it was going to work for us to talk to the boys how to deal with the situation, especially with a few minutes to go. We could have Butler coach wangu aenduudza kuti Marhino, let's keep what we have. And kana tatora, don't let someone take it. So we were supposed to keep what we, 1 point was a good start for us, especially when you go into a tournament. Losing is not a good start for us. Because if we lose the first game and we play, who are we playing next? Is it Angola or South Africa?
Next is Angola.
And I've seen the Angolan players, they're too physical.
Yeah.
They're big players. So it's going to be a tough one as well.
Going to be tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
there
tricky.
was something that I've been trying to check on the internet. There's something that we always talk about Zimbabwean football. We never find stats for you. So I was trying to look for how many career goals that you scored. Do you have any record of the career goals that you scored for Zimbabwe and for your club?
For Zimbabwe, I think I scored 2 goals. But for my club, I can't remember now. I can't remember how many I scored. Yeah.
Or even like your best season for any club.
I think my best season was 2000 when I won the Soccer Star of the Year in 2001. Yeah, that was my best season. And 97 before I left for South Africa, because I went to South Africa when I was 20. 97.
Yeah.
I'd scored 11 goals.
Okay.
That's when I left halfway the season. I left for South Africa 97.
All right.
But I can say, yeah.
So you stayed in South Africa for what, 4 years?
I went to South Africa 97, 98 to play for Hellenic, which was in the Premiership, for 1 year loan. Then I came back to Zimbabwe. Then the guy who was a agent or Quinton Fortune, Anon's Colin Gee, I still keep in touch with him. He formed another team called FC Fortune, which was in the first division. Then I went back 99, 2000 for 1 year loan. Then I came back to Zim in 2000. That's when I formed the Academy.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Nice. So how do you manage, in terms of the Academy, how do you manage to fund it? Because I know it's very expensive to be managing the Academy. What's really do you do?
Yeah,
Are
it's
there
not
any
easy.
sponsors?
There's a time I said, I need to quit this because I was spending a lot of money from my own pocket. You try to go to the corporate world, you know, but I've got friends around who support me. Marhino, this is a good idea. They're keeping kids away from the streets, from doing drugs. So I've got my friends, one here in England, and on Simon Shimanya has helped me a lot. I've got my other friend in Ireland, another Atwell Johnny, has helped me to chip in. And there's one businessman, when I did the awards for the kids in April, I went to home by Easter, then with the awards for the Academy. Yeah, he chipped in with a lot of money. Plus, and then I bought medals from this end. Then, yeah, sometimes my mom, even Marianne, you know, to me, I want to be so kumana. But we are charging a transport to go and play away games. So it's I'm still looking around if we can get sponsorship from anyone really willing to do it with me, because it's not as easy when you are taking away from your pocket.
Yeah.
But it's all about passion. You know, when you've got these kids around you, they got nowhere to go.
Yeah. Thank you. Ray, come in. You wanted to come in.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I think I have to leave now because I'm working early.
Or anything else that you've wanted to share with the team before you go?
All right, guys, before he goes, I have one question that I want to ask him, which you, OJ, was avoiding to ask him because Urum Dimbare. T-shirt yekuti ndini where? Explain to us the thinking behind it.
Well, when I went to Dynamos, I think it didn't go well. We had lots of squabbles, not getting paid, and I didn't even play to my potential when I went to Dynamos. So they owed me money when I, because I remember there's another game when we played Islanders at Rufaro, who was taken to East 24 for lunch before the game. We got there, there's no lunch, and they said no, Dynamos owes us a lot of money. So we had to go to the stadium without eating. So when you got there, my players we are not going to play. Kukuma grandstand, Islanders ichita warm up. Can you imagine a big club like Dynamos? So there was lots of money being owed, and so when I went back, that's when I decided to write my T-shirt. Guys, I'm that guy. You are Magamboichara, and that game I scored. Yeah, yeah. So
that
that's
was a
all
good
about
one. That was a good one.
That's a good one.
Hey.
Wow,
One thing I would share, you know, like now I'm sure you guys know it's the team Leicester, yeah, where we travel into Europe every year, and we're going to Belgium this time. Yeah, so for where I always talk about the technique never leaves you. Marhino kana aripo kazhinji kaenda munongoti haari ngandingosiya zvakadaro. Marhino will deal with it. Because
there's one team to
orange kit. Ekandouye orange kit yana Hombiro. Yana Hombiro.
Exactly. I've scored the hat-trick of free kicks
here.
So every time I played the man would say, please don't say my free kicks when my head is playing.
So you still have it.
So Mbora technique never leaves you. Fitness might go, but Kanorunda knows how to hit. You know what you find with it. There's a lot of pretenders now, like especially Muafano, Tamba, whatnot, but paya patotaura kuti kare takaona bhora kana kuti kare paitambwa bhora compared to now. We really mean it. It's not because we're trying to diss Lafana, but if you see, like, you know, like we've talked about even playing here, where I've always said, Benza, Marina has already told IB9 about Benza. Kuti techitaura the level of how poor our game now is, to an extent that someone can be allowed to be on the pitch, because it's just when we were playing, you can never have even a 40-year-old on the pitch. Yeah. But now, because of Fana bora now Rwanda my athletes rather than my bowlers. So because of that now, apana brain yakawanda chirimo mbora, so even older players can play, and that's the reason why even here you would find me playing 10 games semi-professional at 48. It should never happen, because you should never be there, because unofana kujirwa energy for skill on everything, you are slow at everything. But now Rwanda one my headless chicken
Yeah.
but without substance, where someone just needs to stop and receive the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot has changed. So football is not as fun as it used to be. That's but and so you miss, like my situations like you would see like even not Dynamos, like Africa Kings kid, where and how much we enjoyed going to the Faru Baba Fields, and now it's just different.
Yeah.
So I wish we could get back to where we were, and with the things that Marhino is doing and other people are doing, I think it might be maybe in the by the next 10 years or so, maybe things could start, getting better and changing as well. I've not mentioned as well before that I have there's an academy which Marino, I'll talk to you anyway, because I wanted to have a chat with you, because Alan Wilson School, where I went, we started with what a South African huge company that's now sponsoring an academy for Alan Wilson, and a lot of things have been done, and I've been appointed, the consultant for that. So I should be going to Zimbabwe in March. We've already had like my meetings here, and we should be going to Zimbabwe for the official launch. So we actually had 400 kids from all over the country, Mamisha and everywhere else, trying to get 30
Wow.
players for that academy. So all even my school fees and all that is going to be done by this company, Yepu, South
Wow.
Africa. So we've trimmed now from 400 to 50 now. So hopefully, with things like this happening, and someone like Marhino doing his thing, and we should be able to find ways of working together, because it's a common goal. The Zimbabwean football has got to change. We can't keep on having a situation like we have now. The Atina grassroots, but we expect to be, but to be a better country football wise. So again, commendable, to you, Marino, for what you're doing, and
Yeah.
we'll work together and try to, figure out things with how do we develop this, because the biggest problem sometimes we find in Zimbabwe, and they're good to Marino Anichin. I want to make sure kuti chamarino achifamba,
Yeah.
rather than kuti chamarino chikafamba changu chinofamba, changu chikafamba tinogona kunza mumwe munhu chake chofamba, and all of a sudden be very competitive. Yeah, so that's the spirit that we need, and some people underestimate, the things that you are doing, and in time, people will realize with Tizo, these are people like you are really needed in the football community, because you can choose to stay at home, do nothing. Somewhere doesn't do the Monday night, tomorrow do the Monday night, and nothing else, but you're putting your all into it. So well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any last words, Marino?
And I don't go for the last question. If Marino was the coach of Zimbabwe now, how would he put his first 11 and why?
After watching
For the next game with Angola.
tonight's game, I think I would make two changes from that team.
Yeah, we know them.
Yeah, I think everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the rest started very well, but I think I'll start with Lunga. Then July, we're playing at the right back. Then what you call him? Alan's a cheerleader.
Cheerleader.
Cheerleader will go on the bench. Then we start with July, I think.
Cheerleader no embarpa.
Okondaka orchestra panzi.
I think those are the changes I will make from what I've seen today. Otherwise, the rest, they started well. Yeah.
Great. Any other last words that you wanna leave with us?
I just want to thank you for having me on your podcast, and it was nice meeting you guys. And I hope we'll see you on the next game. I don't know what time is it. If I'm around, then I can join you.
We'll link up with you. Yeah, definitely you're welcome. This is your home. Anything that you want, you are on agents. You're welcome anytime. So thank you so much for honoring.
Maria Swika ya wandi badara kuti uye pa podcast. Ndaiwe.
Ndikutoda kubhadharwa.
Andinoda kubhadharwa.
You go, Maggie. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Maggie. Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys,
Marhino,
and have a good night. Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay.
Guys, I wanted to say, first I'm going to touch on the Marhino Academy, Neto na Kelvin. The biggest undoing that we have I think in our country in terms of development, Yebora. We let things get out of hand so much, and then we normalize the abnormal. Okay, you get muno asiriwe bora. You get muno asiriwe bora. Oya kubora. Unziyo ndiye azifa chairman. Uyo ndiye azifa president. Unyazo nati uifezeka hana kana interest nebora. He's just there for the power that comes with the title. He's just there kuti pacharo wama trips. These guys wamachanoziva kuti kune mari dzinobva kuFIFA, and I don't have to be accountable to anyone. But the biggest problem with anything is if you're not accountable, if you're not held accountable for anything, you don't care or put effort into anything to improve that same product or whatever you have. Look at companies that are family-run companies. The father starts the company. He runs it so well. And because it's his thing, he puts the effort. The kids are there. And the father, it's either he does not teach the kids how to run the company. Could the kids just don't care because I don't go flasher. I do what I do. When the father passes away, company within a few months, something that took 15 years to build will die in 6 months is a lot. Why? Because now Watora Moon from Norway when we at the forefront. We have this habit, this obsession of want to praise names. Not aku respect a. We don't look at a person from different views. We look at a person kuti the OJ. Tuda mun ando drane big. How Jan experiencing bank no one takes time to really dig into OJ's past and see what in face whoever is of responsibility. What has he done?
Big.
But there's no due diligence done when these guys come into fray. We have names. Pakoya Phil Chiango, I have a guy, he was my junior at school. He's one of a journalist, well-known journalist, Bora Bora. Bora kuna feeds. And I sent him a message, are you sure? She goes, hey, Bora kuna feeds, what? The feeds are pinned. I said, but what about Bora kuna feeds? He didn't respond. And that was it. You know what I mean? So we have even Pakoya Nakamambo, they don't have food with heart. Someone who has food with heart will know. Kuti Marmoush vanana Salah Perfomance they didn't come from vanangonyuka vakomana vaiva. Vakomana vaiva vakabva ku grassroots level, vakomana vakabva kuma Academy. You know what I was shocked to learn kuti anonzi mufana Michael Olise, he's French but he was at Man City Academy for tough. And I thought akabva ku France uyazochunwa uku mu Academy, but look at what he's doing now. Who benefits? France benefits. So as long as we don't have under 10s, 12, 14, 16, 18, zvichienda ikoko like we used to have in the past. Hapana kwatiri kuenda. Hapana kwatiri kuenda nebhora. Ine zvokuti we get a player anozotamba inonzi mamakapa yaya. We get a guy about social league. Alois Sungwerume, akaya from social league, became a hit, went to South Africa, gone. Not kuti alisanga goni. But I'm saying that if it wasn't for that cup, that social league club, Yakatamba, we're never going to know him. But you see, if we have structures in place, people that need food, people that love and need football, we're going to have under 14s, under 16s, under 18s. I want to give you, to show you, Kuti, we have a problem, and then we worship names in that. If you look at our teams, I want you to listen carefully. If you look at our teams, under 17, under 20, and we don't have an under 23 team. If it's there and it's here. The names that you've seen last year, the names that you saw 2 years ago, are the same names you see today, are the same names you're going to see next year, are the same
5
names
years
that you're
ago.
going to see, that you always see. Why? Because these names are coming in not because they're coming in on merit. These names are coming in because these players, they are connected to someone high up there. There was time when they called the under 17 or the under what. Any players overseas with 4 days to go. Now, picture this. It's 14 hours from Australia to South Africa. And then another hour and a half to get to Harare. So all in all, 17 hours, a player that needs from Australia today. He needs time to rest. And you don't just wake up, logistics. So you can understand with all these things, we put it out there. Why are you afraid of bringing these boys to come and compete, training? It's because Vanema Zita that they want to protect. These are the same names. Understand?
Chakuchich.
Kwaya Master Karwa Bora. Let me tell you, let me be frank with you. Kwaya Master Karwa Bora Chairo. I don't know whether I came from Mishavane or I came from Mashimbo. I stand to be corrected there. Wherever I came from, Mfesia Aitamba. God knows
He was a
Aitamba.
good player.
God knows Murida.
Zizo.
And Munesa, there was no better right back than God knows. That I'll give it to him. But Paka Zombonzi, and our Dynamos, and our Capes, and our Kwatadzok, we told we are around. But what's being called, Kunema fans who are emotional, who get attached to a name, but God knows where we are. And they'll be still the same God knows. And it fast forward, we come to you under 17 team. Kuna fana Tamamunom, they play A League. They've always been saying we want to play for Zimbabwe because we are Zimbabweans. Born and bred here, but I don't want to play for Zimbabwe. Give them a chance. Camp, tell them good work. When you start preparations, try to we want to assist you. I'm sure Namdara will make a plan and send them there. But Atili, want to give them 4 days. Then you have youngsters like Uimpana Chakuchichi. He comes from wherever he came from, comes to Zimbabwe. He comes to Zimbabwe. I don't know where he played. He signs for Scotland. But you see, signing for Scotland is one step. And it in his way. Then he gets signed by Rock Nation. Now people are looking at the agency Yakam Signer. They're not looking at his ability. They're looking at the agency Yakam Signer. They're not looking at his ability. Now he's being pushed through. Let me tell you, Kunevan announced their plans. And it wanongo plant or so. And then you wonder what Abakupi RPT. A plant guy is someone anongo is up Amus Zota Pakupi. And then anongo winners. Pana knows what, but who's this person? I'll give you an example of a plant music. She won a Grammy. Who wins a Grammy award for something like that? Who does that? Before the women win. And it was only after my brothers out in who's this person? Found out we are Chakuchichu. The team played according to the coach's instructions. As we go forward, we're going to need playmakers. We're going to need guys who can play off the defense going forward, off the midfield going forward, who can make pass. You get a guy like Emmanuel Zwocha, and it season yes, assist king, 16 assists for Simba Bora, which means of all the goals scored by Simba Bora, that guy was involved in 16 of them. That's not an easy feat for a player to do. And that's not easy for a player to do. And then you leave him. You take a 16-year-old who has only started. Let me Chachi Rumbuich, maybe to translate the impact of this thing. He started, meaning kuti of all the games, whether 8 games or akatanga first 11.
After the league was won most of the game.
He's a winner. Okay, if scoring is not his job, is that the job, which means is that the job is that he's supposed to be assisting. And he's ready. I want to stand corrected before I go on with my point. And that's what we're talking about, Andidja. If he's not meant to score, he's supposed to assist. He need 2 goals. He started 3 games out of possible 8. Andidja. Manuel Zocha. And 16 assists and 6 goals. Common sense, who would you take? Common sense, who would you take out of the 2? This is a national team thing. We want to win, we want to progress. Who would you take out of that? You take the guy with 16 assists and 6 goals. But he was left because his name doesn't carry weight, because his agency doesn't carry weight. This is what is killing Zimbabwe football. We get attached to names, we get attached to players, we get attached to. His name is not Dr. Tipe Marzatsacho. Akati, I don't know what happened. The next thing, right? He didn't show up. You guess what he does? He knew what he was doing. These guys are baiters. These guys can bait you. No, dude, you're not 1000% fit because you were asked on 2 occasions to bring results, and on both occasions you did not show up. You don't tell yourself you are fit. That's why a team is a medical team. That's why every team is a medical squad. Asarabo, they deal with handle with that kind of thing. But see, as long as we keep we're not going anywhere. Let's pick players on merit. But Takambonzi, Jonah, Napadera, they can't sub Nakamba. On experience, yes, they cannot do that, Anitka. But they can in reality because Varkutamba Kuma clubs avo, he is not playing. Not Kutagoni. He is not playing. He lacks that much fitness. That made him who he was when he played Belgium. Belgium, he was at his optimum. That's why he shook. He was the guy Belgium because he was fit, angry tip top. Then Akatanga Janita he is. You know, we all know what he likes doing. We've heard stories, we know it's true. Akadai so. They can't even make it into the Luton match day team. But he's still being picked ahead of Afana. Experience, okay, yes, but fitness. Why not him send them kushka azorora nitika. Wakumana avango akuneta. This is the physicality that demands. The ability to make you run like that comes from constantly active. Your system is constantly active, so you can withstand that. But here he can't, he's not match fit. But I'm not telling this why, because that's marvelous Nakamba. Because Akatamba Aston Villa, because Arku Luton. But on paper, this guy is not playing. And so we need to go forward with our football. We need to cut out Izukutera Mazita. Chechi too, we need to have a solid grassroots program. Problem there, Kuti, we've lost our culture, we've lost Unwedu. Munwese wants to be boss. Those are Ningi boss C. What you take out of the
This was just.
we call you boss OJ.
Binga.
This was your OJ. Boss OJ. You see, people own a power trip. Saka, in the end, I can have money to sponsor, not even to sponsor teams. Don't sponsor teams. Sponsor the league. Tamba these teams. And it can sponsor the league. Buy kits for every other club that's in for every other team that's in that league. Buy them kits, training kits and playing kits, and and then let that team then find sponsors for transport and refreshments and meals. Like 14, 16-year-olds. They don't go into camp. They don't need to go into camp. You see, the bucks right now at $20 no atengera makuva. The other $30 no atengera sadza lunch. Good sadza for Dome. We all know that was
Don't be for 2.
Don't be for 2. You don't need much. This is what I'm saying. No one's doing that because Drafton's boss gono. Do you know that it's more beneficial to sponsor a team and this team rises and then this team sells players? Players get signed elsewhere. It comes back to you. kunza, but you know what, sponsor wedu, if it wasn't for this guy, we would not be here. Understand? But we don't think outside the box. Thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box. It's like mwana wako.
Do you know what frustrates our game more? Is because the people, also the people that are also coming into the structures purporting to be people at Ruma Academy, they are
Yeah.
also riddled and
Oh.
punctuated with corruption and other things. In personally, I bought 12 kits. One that is being used by Mabvuku legends, Yemadara. Ndakatozoita kunoti, let me give the old Madalas, because realizing kuti vechidiki, when I gave the kits to the academy Mabvuku, the young man was now charging money to them. We are in $15 to pay him kit, but I gave them for free. If you want, I can actually show you the pictures. Then it's better to give Mabuzas than to give an academy. Ndakapa about 12 kids. Not only that, I even went to the extent of giving somebody who was a former player, Kev, I will not mention by name, but Angargo keeps going. Ndakatompa responsibility, gave him my shooters that I had bought, machine pads that I had bought, my jerseys. Guess what he did?
Yeah.
And never gave me a single cent. Because I didn't want money. I wanted you to support. I was so hurt to say, you know what? Now my boozers, they give me more mileage, because what I then did is I branded them my name. The brand organization, Men in Health, who are roommate fighting against drugs and everything. But you know, I get more mileage from a boozer than from an academy. Why? Because the guys who are academy, because they come to you looking for support. When they get the support, they go back to the community and coax out money from my parents. I gave them my if go to Mavuku today and say the Mavuku legends who sponsored them, now they are now in a league and they go every time. But that thing, when it comes to my structures, my structures actually, they also need to be transparent, and people need to be taught, Kuti, when you're talking about academy, what is it that you have? Do you have the passion, or you're taking this as a profession? Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, you see,
Thank you.
things going on. You see, this is the thing. This is where we are lacking. Kutima structures are higher. We need people than me. Ndikadzokera. But that opportunity, some kids are not even getting it. I'm telling you, maybe the next Peter Ndlovu, the next Joe Shambo, the next Steve Sintizwa, the next Vitalis Takawira, the next Arpumusha.
Yeah.
Ongotamba bora bvaregedza mototi unozi akaipa mfana uyu iwe uri kunzwa dzakaipa ka wongomutadza ngoti because hausi munhu webhora, nothing in you kicks kuti but ndikamutora mfana uyu ndikamonomuisa mumatrials, what do I lose? Handiti ka school fees, same mfana is form 1. My school fees, you know, like plus or minus given at a day school, maybe it's $50 and a term. Handiti, people should not want to say, hey, nampa chikafu cha. Ndakaudza maiguru wangu kunzi don't ever do that. Chikafu is shit. You eat, you go to the toilet, that's it. It's done. Munhu haanyimwe chikafu. Buying everything he needs to perform. So that mfana he stops thinking about kuchikoro nchaenda sei ndichadyei. All his focus becomes bora. Handitika. I'm telling you, by the time he's 16, he's signed elsewhere. Who's getting the mileage? Ndiwe. So people now look at you, kuti, this guy, he might be a talent scout. You don't have to have a paper. You know, the mistake we make is I can be talent scout in paper because what I see, what I'm looking at, maybe you don't see it. You know the difference.
Yeah.
But we don't have all that. But bottom line, they could guys like Marhino. So a guy is funding this thing from his pocket. There are people out there with money who can actually support him, but they'll never do it because they are the Marhino. And this will tell I will talk about you. If you buy my boys a kit, buy my boys in the Angola FC, you go and you buy those boys a kit. When I send that kit, I'll tell them where the kit came from. I can't say did I think why would I lie? I gain nothing from lying. It brings me nothing. I gain nothing. Boys, this kit I'm giving you, courtesy of OJ, courtesy of this podcast. You tell the coach, you don't number OJ. Can you please send him a thank you message? And coach, we want transparency, Coco, because for us to keep on getting the sponsorships that I saw, we want transparency. they see it, then they appreciate good. Okay, here we go. Do you know what I'll give you example. Zima structures. Way back, I forgot the year. Chikorisons Gebuz High School in Wange. Vakatamba Nash, Coca-Cola, all the way to Harare. Vai Zemura, vai Kwapura. Vanhu vakamira ho vakati this team. Vana coach wavo anonzi Tatu, his name is Tatu. Mudhara ukamuzwa achiti anonzi Chikwata, I love Zimbabwe Saints. Hatauri zvebhora zvekuti hey tasoso. Anoona kuti uyu anovaunganidza so. Listen to his message per half time. Vapana, munoziva kuti fana aenda kuHarare. Hamuna kuenda kuHarare imimi. Vapana vanhu vese kuHarare vebhora vanenge variko. Vapana vairova. If I tell you to follow those boys, you guys only know one. You know Winston Mango. You know Winston Mango. Platinum.
Yeah.
He's one of the boys who was in that team. You only know one. But if I tell you pana vaimukunda Winston, if it come on, I'll talk to him. Vaimukunda. Kune mfana inzi Lyman Hlachwa. Link, but because structures we don't have language can never do, but we need to put back structures. Maybe Anakev, if they start it, someone else will start it, to support Anna.
Yeah.
But regular, power.
Yeah.
Let's just be, if you're going to sponsor. When you're not those who do things.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm scored the next game.
I get you. I understand.
So
I understand why you're saying what you're saying, because I see my changes. They can be those changes, because you've got to understand we're all human. Sometimes my emotions towards certain players, but truth being said, sometimes changes are important, and I think it wouldn't be I see Wara kuti pangaitwe kana 3 or 4 changes, in the side.
I think he's gone quiet. So Malcolm, what changes would you do for the next game?
Hello.
I would substitute. I'll put God knows Muria out. Then I'll put Emmanuel Jalai on that position, and maybe put in a Sean Fustier on the position that Jalai was playing today. Then I think I'll take also a teenager Dube out. I wasn't really impressed by him. For the starters, I guess just those two.
Okay. Oh, have you watched Angola and Egypt, the other opponents that we have? Of course, you've watched Egypt, Angola and South Africa. What do you think of our prospects in the next games, and what do you think we need to improve to match Angola for the next game?
Unfortunately, I missed that game. Angola.
You missed the Angola.
So I didn't really watch. I watched the last 5 minutes, and you couldn't pick really much from that.
I watched Angola. I've watched Egypt. Egypt, of course, they were better than us today, but I'm thinking with Egypt, ikasangana maybe a better team which is used to playing with each other. I don't think they are that scary. I don't think they are that impressive. South Africa, I think they are vulnerable if you hit them with pace, the Mbokazis and stuff. I think they're vulnerable. Angola, they are very physical, and I think they have very good wing play. They win the ball pakatapa, and then they will spread it to the wings very fast, and then they'll put in macrosses. So we will need to be watchful from a fullback, Sipapo. But
so you see,
yeah,
from the lineup at 39, it had too many defensive players. That is one of the reasons why we lost. I say a defensive player is minded to drop back, to drop deep. You see, so we were dropping deep right on the edge of our box. And then we are leaving the entire pitch for them to do whatever they want. They switch the ball to the left, they switch the ball to the right. You see, and then that shot that Marmoush took, someone should have been closer to him to close him down. But the problem was we were sitting in too deep. By the time you want to react, the shot has been taken already. You see, that's what happens when you have too many defensive players. We had like 7, if you count the 5 defenders: Jalai, Murwira, Takwara, Munashe, Hadebe, Nakamba, Fabish. 7 defensive players. Then we are leaving the attack to 5 players, 4 players. So it's 3 players because the keeper is in goal. So that's, if you count the keeper, that's 8 defensive players. So if we are going to expect to win, if we want to win, I think I would like to see the coach drop this pragmatism of having too many defenders on the pitch. Let's be ambitious a little bit. Yes, we started like that and we went a goal ahead. The best way to defend is to attack. Patanga Tiri 1-0 up. Put a more forward, make a more forward substitution, more attacking.
We needed a ball
substitution.
player.
Yes, we needed it. You see, the other point that we could be having is left back here. If he wants a more solid defender, if he wasn't happy with Lunga, you can play Galloway in the left position. Galloway used to be a left back in his young age. When he played for Everton, many games as a left back. He can play that position perfectly well. But we are deciding to go with Hadebe for some bizarre reason. And he was exposed today. Yes, he had good moments, like any good defender would do, but I don't think that's the position he should be playing. He is not capable of playing that position. You see, when you are playing as a left back or a left wing back or a right wing back, you have to be able to push forward. You see, when you move forward, you push their attack back. So you are helping us to defend. But he was just staying. It was like he was man marking Salah. He really wasn't pushing forward. You see, even Tablema Edu Murwira had pushed forward. Pasukan was that quick throw in. So he took time to come back. If that happens, then Munashe has to cover for that right back position. That's his responsibility in the team. If your full back goes up, you go in on cover. You see, that's good defensive teamwork. So you see, I would have loved pachinjwa paitwa ma substitutions pakapinda Padera. I would have loved to see a more attacking substitution than to put Padera. Not to say that I have anything against Padera, but we are only a go down. A draw would have been good for us. So put Maswanis instead of putting Padera. You see, push them back, have more attack. You see, it would have been good, but the coach had other ideas. But I would love to see more attacking players, attack-minded players on the pitch than defense-minded players. We can't have 8 defensive players on the pitch for 90 minutes if we are expecting to win any game. Naturally, it tells you that it can't. Improper fraction.
Yeah. Keviza, I think you watched the South Africa game. What's your take on them near Angola?
Hello.
Yeah. Did you watch the South Africa and Angola game? What's your take on them and our prospects against them when we face them?
To be honest, I watched in dribs and drabs because I was busy with work, so I was watching 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there. And if I'm being honest, I have not seen any team that is outstanding where I would say would fear, especially, if we account ourselves like we did, today. What people tend to forget sometimes, especially in the group stages. The money game, the money game. If you on the day, if you want it, you can get a result out of it. And
Okay, looks
unfortunately,
like
I'm losing my
we've
network.
lost him.
Yeah.
We've lost him. Ray, any take on our opponent?
Look, game running, that's the first game I watched. South Africa and Angola. To be honest, the way they were playing, the way they play, they are quick.
Mm.
They are quick. They are play. But with the way the boys play today, I don't think this is something we should, like lose sleep over. What are we gonna do? They can match that. They can match that easy. It's not something that we should say it can be done. It can be done, but the boys just need to maintain their cool and do what they're supposed to do. And then just need maybe tweak here and there. Like coaches know that we sub. I think when Sendami created that, because when Sendami was on a when he rise, because he kept that wing busy. And when he kept it
Yeah.
busy, Panga Kuneta coach to have thrown in someone with the same pace, the same mentality, each advantage arrogance, Chakevich, Chirewa, they've thrown him. Cannot Mashani say, put Mashani say. Someone who's
Yeah.
eager to go forward, just like Sindam. Sindam was eager to go forward, so you should have also put Mashani say to go forward, or even put the two Tawandas in Angu, like maintain the pressure that Msenama was maintaining on those guys. Maintain the pressure that Jalai was maintaining on that LB and the RB. Keep it up, just keep going. And then in the middle, I don't know if Andy's coming back, but you needed someone. Ari Prince was offensive minded. Could anga check on a boranga china forward, but Prince is not a midfielder.
Mm.
I'll give him kudos for
Yeah.
what he did today. But put someone else with that same mentality, so that you start initiating those passes and all that. You see, like when Boni Patanga him off the ball running, Prince was finding him space, and then Bonanga Chena went off gate. You want someone to be constantly doing that, someone who's used to be doing it. Prince is good in even a struggle. So the take is we shouldn't fear anything from those two sides. They're
Yeah.
just sides that we played before. It is what it is, but let's just maintain this composure that they had and attack them same way we're attacking Egypt. Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. These are the teams who've watched Zimbabwe play Egypt. They're going to come at Egypt the same way Zimbabwe came at Egypt, and you're going to tell me
Mm.
Zimbabwe just opened the floodgates for the other teams. But team is what you
Yeah.
think they are.
Yeah, they are not that scary. So Nice versus Mechanical.
Mechanic hatyi mechanic akanda vanhu but pane chigananda chiri kumujanya is being forced to atambisa ipapapo vanhu vanogadzirisa.
Don't you think kuti Choir Master when he's in training he's got good vibes ukuthi any coach who comes into contact with him will like
Maybe he's a
him
likable
somehow.
guy. I want to take it to the likable guy. But I think he's a likable guy because I've seen a couple of videos, like even in public, he's a likable guy. I know interact with people he's a guy who's interested. Anna do no, he's the same guy. The same guy that you see.
Yeah.
We met this kid there, so he must be a likable guy. I mean, I don't blame him for picking on those things. He is a likable guy,
Yeah.
but when we come to this, now we're pushing, we're going for the kill. Ngambo Muswa. Chan.
Yeah. Great. Malcolm, do you have any words and are you ready to wear the apologies about Bonnie?
Not yet, because since you didn't score, no comments yet.
That's
I wanted to add on the game against Angola. Angola, I watched them play. Like I watched them against South Africa, and they are a really physical side, and they're really quick. So I think Daniel Msendami is going to be key in that game because we need fouls, we need yellow cards on them. And I think you should give Maswan more game time as well. He might kind of like Maswan might kind of have the, that
the same play Sendami was having today, and that could work in our favor.
Yeah. Would you bring in Son?
No, I would not. If anything, I would have brought in Musona against Egypt in the second half. But for Angola, I don't know, Musona is kind of slow to me. Yeah.
Oh, any words?
You see,
Any words on
apart
the
from
next game?
Zandataura, sorry, come again. I didn't hear. You said something. Okay.
No. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. You see, when we're playing, the team to target, yatinoziva kuti inogona kuroveka iSouth Africa. South Africa, we have had so many draws with them. You see, those draws could easily be turned into a win. Tikangoita more positive, you know. Sometimes kutya ndokunotikwadzisa. Takatanga kupa vanhu too much respect. You see, wotanga kufunga kuti vanhu ava they are good, they are better than what they actually are. You see, you are already defeated. You are approaching the game with a defeated mindset. Takangoita be a little bit more positive. A little bit, lose respect, that, you know what, we are going to show you. We can do it. We can beat you. We have drawn with them twice. 1-0, we stopped them from scoring. Another one, 1-1. So we are capable to go one step further. We are capable of getting a win out of those guys. So we target those guys. So against Angola, if we can get a draw, that will be good. That will be a good result. Then we go all out. That is, if we are then to go all out and attack South Africa in the last game. But a win obviously would be good for against Angola. But if we can't get, because if we lose against Angola, we are out of the tournament anyway. So it's a must-win game.
Yeah.
We avoid defeat at all costs, even if it means getting a draw. Then we go all out against South Africa. And it's possible, it's still possible to hit 4 points. You never know what happens with 4 points.
Yeah.
It has been good enough in the past to get out of the groups and go into the knockout stages. So I would like to see that. You see, when you have too many defenders, defensively thinking people on the pitch, you don't go up far forward that much. You see, so you see our attack tatina attack namsendami na Prince na Vaya Jalai angachiuya in and out because angachienda unokavani unobatsira murwiri. And for the goal, we were lucky that he was high up the pitch, and then he created that assist for Prince. But you see, if you have too many defensive players, it's not gonna help us a lot.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, so we hope for a better game. But Msendami, I hope and wish that young man gets a move to Europe, because that young man is fire, is fireworks.
Msendami plays. You remember, you guys?
That is true, yeah.
About Msendami. You remember when we discussed the team?
The goal was going out slow. I don't know which Kumza Gumbo the party. To better than the Muslim Montana, Dana, Gibson, Batamunu, someone, Revaka, Tite, cut. But I got Nunya, Father, and I might get.
Is what I watched him first. Pakaneta, that you remember Pangaru Botswana, Paganeta, Amino Timia,
one of the games,
Champions League. Yes,
it was
Waneng.
Yeah, that time he was playing for the same coach, Waneng Galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? This is the platform. It's the platform where you need for these boys to shine. Because believe me, my scouts are the IP section. But we are saying guys like Nana Fapish, Nana Nivafana, Nana Jalai. You see, this is why I was saying it was premature for Jalai to sign for Scotland before AFCON.
Has he signed for Scotland?
Well, it's not. They haven't announced it. It hasn't been confirmed, so it's not. We cannot say it's We cannot say it's official yet. Okay. It's just
because
I hope not.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggled with
Because there's
network, bad, and I didn't think of one simple thing. That's just switching off the Wi-Fi and just use my my normal phone.
Oh,
Data.
okay.
I had
I
a
wanted
question.
Go ahead.
I wanted to reply to something in our.
Sorry, before you come in, Kevin. Do not Malcolm abvunze question
Yeah,
yakasata
I had a
Oh,
question,
yakanaka.
right?
sorry, I didn't
Because
realize. Sorry.
it's yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, so I had a question. It's really sad being a Warriors fan sometimes, because right now we are already looking for calculators, to to see if there are any possibilities. for So my question is, do you not think that against Angola we are just supposed to go all in, like no conservative play, but just attack and hope for a win? Because let's say if we are to draw against Angola, and with the way Egypt played, they didn't really play so well. So Angola might actually maybe stand a chance against Egypt. They might win. So if we are to draw
Mm.
against if we are to draw against Angola, we get 1 point. Angola beats Egypt, then we draw with South Africa. That's 1 point. That means we're before 2026, we're already home with our 1 point, and Angola gets 4 points. So do you not think it's really like at the game against Angola, it's a go big or go home? If we lose it, we accept. But let's just attack and hope for
You
a
see,
better
no,
result.
but
Do you know?
I think the problem with that,
you're right,
the
Malcolm. Go for
problem
it.
with that, we will end up with
Just go.
the last game as a dead rubber. You see, if we go all in on that Angola game, because you game repakati, if we lose that, you see, if we throw caution to the wind and just throw everyone forward, and then we lose that game, the tournament is off. So a bit of pragmatism would be good. Got to draw away that one.
Mm-hmm.
Go all out against South Africa. 4 points will be enough to take us through to the knockout stages.
Yeah. I think we'll
So,
need
because
balance. What we led today was a bit of a ball player okuti tisarambe tichingopotsera bhora kuna boni oshaya man
yes,
supporter. We needed something else in that attacking
exactly.
phase. Yeah.
Mm.
Kevita,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, good point there.
Kevita, Mati.
Yeah, I think it's the area where I am.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, yeah, I was saying good
He's
point
gone
from
again.
AI. It makes sense. If we like get draw against Angola, at least
And AI.
from
You mfana yoke.
apologies, but that was a really good point. If we at least, like you said, at least the third game we'll be looking for maybe like a goal difference or something against South Africa. It's better than
Yes,
dead rubber game,
we
if the plan doesn't, yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess playing the same
because that
formation
has
and same
always been.
tactics might be, yeah.
You see, because
Yeah,
waona
that's
matambiro
true.
anga achiita Musendami, he wasn't just playing forward in attack only. He was dropping deep achinobatsira Hadebe to defend.
Yeah.
At one point, he was in the left back position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see, ndo vanhu vatinoda vane that energy iyoyo. If we are going to use that energy yanga inayo against South Africa, we can stand a chance to win. You see, but if by the time we play South Africa, we are already out of the tournament, then hazvina zvazvichatibatsira. So a bit of
Yeah, it'll be useless.
pragmatism against Angola, it
Then
will be a good thing.
I have another question, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just thought about this right now. If you look at the goal from Prince Dube, right? It was not a lucky goal, but if you look like throughout the whole game, the whole 90 minutes, we did not get a lot of chances to maybe get a second goal, so we might say maybe that could have been luck on our side. So if we were to play Angola, and let's just say they score and we're playing the same tactics that we had today, do you think there's a chance of us scoring at all? Like, do you think there's a chance of us scoring a goal, considering the way we played today? Because looking at that game,
we did not have a lot of those rich chances, excluding the Prince Dube. So what can we do right there? Like, what's a good solution on that? What's a good way to go about on that?
Okay.
Like goal scoring.
On that,
Yeah.
I think as we were just saying just shortly before that we had too many defensive players, and as you were saying, and also Jalai was being forced to come back to
Defend.
cover Muwira. Sendami, he was the main outlet for us with his pace and his trickery, but sometimes he was forced to be coming back to help Adebe. So when we then defend the ball or when we block the ball, we didn't have anyone else to play with, like to start the build up. So what they ended up doing, if Adebe would get the ball off the striker, he would lump it forward. If Murwira got the ball, he would lump it forward. Sometimes if Murwira got the ball, you give it to Jalai. Jalai was already closed down because they were now pressing us high. So we do have a chance to score if we manage to utilize someone like Msendami in the right way, in the right spaces. If you give the ball to Msendami in the last third, you either go to the byline and cross the ball, or you'll be able to cut in and combine with the striker. So we need to find a way to get the ball to the last third with our wingers, Varipama one-on-one with the left back or the right back on either side. That's the solution that the coach needs to find. Then with people like Nakamba, sometimes he was hesitant to bring out the ball because sometimes as a defensive midfielder, you don't always have the chance to play it forward quickly, but you have someone on the side who you can play it off quickly, and that someone on the side could be free to then play it forward. So they need to have combination. If you contrast the way that Nakamba was using the ball and the way that Mfana Fabish was using the ball, they were two different things. Fabish was checking if there was space in front of him. He was able to progress the ball sometimes. He would run with it, then lay it off to the winger. If you run with it and lay it off to the winger arm last third, the winger now has a chance to go to run at the fullback or to combine with the player inside at 10 or the player inside at the strikers. So yeah, I think we just need one more ball player, Ipava. Then our fullbacks, they need to be cute with the ball. They need to be involved with the build up. We don't need to lump the ball forward always. In terms of the striker, as we've said again before, if you saw Bonnie, he was winning the ball up front. He just needed someone then to run off him. If he wins the ball, that second ball needs a Zimbabwean player to win it, and then we're in. So that's more of how we can be able to. I don't think there are little details that we just need to sort out, but we are very capable of scoring against Angola. I don't know what you see
Yeah,
there.
a change of formation could have helped in the second half. See, to end a switch to 4-2-3-1, because Fabish has proved that he can play as a box to box. He can pick up the ball off of Nakamba and go and connect with the number 10. Go and leave the ball on the feet of Prince Dube, and then passes it on to Boni. Boni will be playing 9. You see, or we'll switch it to the wing.
Yeah.
You have the two Tawanders on the wings. You see, we in that way we will have options. So I got receiver Bora deep in our close to our box. pass 1-2 Nakamba. Uyu anenge achidropa deep anonzani like zvanga achiita nhasi Prince.
Can you hear how Malcolm sometimes he's cutting?
Ndrukata, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can only hear him in beats. It's
Okay.
cutting off,
Maybe my battery is going.
Network again, need to make.
I guess. Yeah.
But anyway, I think we've been here for a long time. I didn't think we would stay, but it always happens with that. Yeah. Any other words that you have?
Yes. I have, special mention to Jonah Fabish and Daniel Msendami. Even after the game, you could see the Egyptians, the way they were talking to Fabish, they were paying some respects, over there. So that was just kind of a cool thing. And that was also a message to the coach. Hey, against Angola, I have to start. So that was kind of cool. Bad luck, tough luck, but we played pretty well. If we were to look at that Zimbabwe that played against Lesotho, it's two different teams. So hopefully we win against Angola.
Yeah. It's a good one. Any last words? Oh, I hope you're not cutting up.
I don't know what ndakunzwika here.
Yeah.
No. I think this thing is dead.
Yeah.
Could be the Bari or something.
Yeah. But yeah. So thank you for being with us. Hey, those who have been with us, who've stayed with us for this long. Thank you so much. Please bring in the comments. I think we'll premiere the the pre-recorded tomorrow on Facebook so that many others who were not here could see. Please do share the links. Do comment and we thank you for your support and I think you should remember we've been shouting about Fabish. It took us later, but yeah, I think we do see serious certain things very well. But yeah, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you to the Warriors for fighting hard. It was hard, but yeah, we lost to a much bigger team. But I think the Egyptians know that there is Zimbabwe. They know that there is a Fabish. They know that there is a Prince Dube. They know us definitely, and I think all other teams have taken notice as well. So yeah, it will be a curious AFCON. By the way, did you see Patson Daka score against Mali
Yeah, I did.
in the celebration?
Yeah, where you kind of flipped over and thing. Well, that was
Yeah,
Zambia got lucky. That was what, like 5 minutes at a time or something on the last minute. So,
yeah,
I hope Zimbabwe sometime. I hope Zimbabwe gets, that kind of luck for some. I don't know whenever, but yeah,
yeah,
pretty good game. And
yeah. They kept trying.
yeah, I was thinking Mali is actually a giant or something, but just judging them from that game, I don't think they're going to go that far. From my take, or maybe Zambia is a good squad. I don't know.
No, Zambia is actually a good squad because they've got a number of players besides Daka, who we know from Leicester.
Hmm.
They've got a number of players who play in Italy. They've got a number of I think Scotland, then some who play in Israel. So
Yeah,
they've got a number of players who actually play in the UEFA Champions League and stuff. So yeah, they are not just a small team. I think this AFCON, what it can teach you is that there is no team which doesn't have like players who are playing at the high stage. I was
yeah.
looking at Comoros yesterday.
Hmm.
Comoros has got 10 players who were blown in France
But yeah,
from their starting 11. Yeah. And they've got a number of players who are playing in top flight leagues like Belgium, GG. So if you hear the name Comoros, sometimes you can just say, "Oh, it's just a
that's a
Comoros."
team.
But
Yeah,
if you look at the squad, they can compare to Zimbabwe very easily because they've got players who are playing some of them are playing in the French second division and stuff, but as long as they are playing at that professional level, they've got good players. So yeah, you never underestimate.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we'll see how that group goes because
Interesting.
it's kind of like a group of death. If you think about it, it's the way Comoros played yesterday. I mean, they lost, but they played well. You have Mali drawing
Yeah.
against Zambia, so Comoros might get some 3 points in the Mali might beat Morocco or something. I don't know. So yeah, pretty
Yeah.
an exciting
It'll be
tournament.
interesting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you for being with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it. Thank you, Malcolm.
Thank you.